Welcome to Not Your Basic Brunettes, where we, Devin and Kadie, dive into all things girly and beyond. From sharing TMI moments to navigating life's chaos with humor and vulnerability, we're here to create a safe space for moms, single ladies, entrepreneurs, and corporate girlies alike. Grab a drink, get comfy, and join us as we laugh, cry, and connect through all of life's moments. Now here are your hosts, Devin and Kadie.
Well, welcome to episode 1.
All right. I'm so damn excited. I'm so ready for this to go.
We started at 9 and it's now almost 11. Little technical difficulty. It's okay. Technical learnings. I said that in an interview one time. They were like, something about like learning skills or something like that. Or I forget what it was. And I came up with some like bullshit quote that I had just made up. Like, oh, like learning new skills. I don't look at it as like difficulty. I look at it as like a learning curve or something like that. She's like, oh my god, I love that, and wrote it down. I'm like, okay,
Really great.
Well, that worked.
Points, remember that for your future reference in me.
I can't even remember now. I should have written it down myself. She's like, I love quotes. Like, okay, well, here you go.
Like, I'm gonna need you to print that out and put that on your desk. Thank you. Put it in the memo for everybody. Did you get the memo this morning?
The email quote of the day.
Oh my god, that's the worst part. When I worked in healthcare, they'd always do that, like on the email blast of like the team. It was like quote of the day or what national day it is, like National Pretzel Day, National Chocolate Brownie Day.
Corporate life. I'm like slowly fading out of it, but still kind of in it. So it's like you got to do the lingo.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's nice to be more freelance now because I'm like, the guy just calls me. He's like, here's it is. Call me when you're done.
You're like, cool.
I'm like, cool.
Cool. Great. Done.
I don't have to be like, per my last email, or like, can you explain this further? And I put a fucking millennials put a fucking exclamation point on everything.
Yes.
I'm like typing. I'm like, here you go. And it's like, here you go.
Exclamation point.
Like, I'm annoying. But then if I don't put an exclamation point, I feel like
you're mad at them.
Yeah. Or they'll be like, oh, she hates her job.
I'm going to need you to put some more pizzazz.
That's
when you want to go to Office Space and be like, Jennifer Aniston, like, here's your 32 pieces of flair.
If you saw what was behind the computer screen where I'm just like, yep, here you go. I tried my best. Next. Hope you like it.
Literally.
So on this podcast, it's going to be random shit we talk about.
Absolutely.
We're going to cuss because it just happens.
Yeah. I'm sorry. If you don't like cussing, just don't watch. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we grew up with sailor parents. It just.
I mean, I totally didn't.
Really?
No.
I did.
We weren't even allowed to say stupid. Instead of saying shut up, we said up shut.
Up shut. Up shut. Okay, so this is my background. So my mother's father, my grandfather, was a Navy man.
Yeah.
My dad's father was in the Air Force, and then my brother's in the Marines. So no filter whatsoever in the house. There was shit, the whole 9 yards in the house. Like, my mom and my grandfather probably said the worst curse words all the time, especially when driving, like road rage. And it was just like, stupid.
The only time my mom would curse would be at the dog. Damn dog. But even now, like, she'll correct us and be like, excuse me? Oh, that sucks. Instead of that was shitty. Like, I don't care.
Like, and I'm 33 years old and I'm going to say what I want.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So curses, rambling on, sidetracks, tangents, be along with us before we go from A to Z to B to C to D to E and bounce to T.
And this is what happens when you have.
And we may not fully circle back around to the first point, so I hope you can follow along.
When you have ADHD, this is the podcast for you. This is it.
Yeah, because you were diagnosed as a kid, right?
No, actually, I was diagnosed when I was probably about 20 years old. Parents, like, I wasn't like my brother. My brother had ADHD. He was very like hyperenergetic, hypermanic. So when he had his diagnosis, he was diagnosed with probably like in his teens. Again, later on, because this is like before they were like, oh, well, kids have ADHD and they're even younger.
Stupid, but in a different class.
Yeah, exactly. So me and my brother both actually went to alternative high schools to graduate and stuff like that, just because like we don't learn like that. It's like my brother would remember everything as subject, but if you put a test in front of him, fail, fail every single time. And then I was like that way with math, and I couldn't like figure it out. And then my favorite is I had a teacher in Douglas County High School. If you remember him, he used to wear sweaters all the time, had a gray mustache, nice comb over.
Mr. Feeney, did you get taught by Mr. Feeney?
Kind of, sort of, but he was definitely more on the. So I was like, okay, love him, great.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm trying to learn, and I even stayed after class to like understand what was going on. And he literally looked straight dead in my face and said, "Well, I just don't understand why you don't get it."
Me neither.
I'm like,
first of all, it's math.
Great, okay. So hate math. Never doing math again.
No, I did geometry because it was shapes. Yeah. I get shapes.
You like shapes?
Yeah, I do like shapes.
I mean, to get it because you're interior design and everything else. So like shapes.
And I was really good at proofs. I think because it's proving something.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had to do like A plus B minus C.
Yeah, no. Once letters got involved, I was like, "Who the fuck is
this is math? This is English."
Like, this is not necessary.
What is it? PIMDAS?
Yeah.
And then
or what was it?
Multiplication.
It was like King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. It was like kilometers, made it like how you work from big down.
I didn't know that one. Things that are coming out of the archives of
your brain that you remember.
Yeah.
But why did I remember that? I don't know.
And I didn't get diagnosed until like a month ago.
So she's joined the club, everybody. Welcome her in. Welcome her in.
Neurodivergent club. Just thought I don't know. I think I just used motherhood as an excuse for being like scatterbrained.
Yeah.
Or like I don't feel like I never had a problem with focus until like I had to sit down at a job and focus.
Yeah.
Because it's like I did sports all my life. So like swimming in the morning, school, swimming at night. So like that probably definitely helped with like focusing my energy and that sort of stuff. But it was also like not acceptable to not focus.
Right.
But then like I was going back of like all the stuff that like I would do homework at the last minute. I would never write in my agenda, like put it on my hand, you know, like I have a terrible memory but can remember where you live after meeting you.
Oh yeah,
time.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, oh, I'm just creepy. I just remember some aspects of people. Like, hey,
so maybe have a touch of autism.
That's me.
But that's like honestly, that's how a lot of people function, and that's what people don't realize is like, we do not function by just constantly focusing like that.
Yeah.
And like I told you, that one mom that like posted this video, I'm gonna tag her later in the TikTok video she made, where she was like went to the doctor's office with her kid, and the doctor told her, instead of thinking of it as like they're hyperactive and moving, it's their brain is literally trying to stay on. You're constantly fidgeting and moving and trying to get things moving, you know, with the caffeine and stimulants and stuff like to keep it on, keep it moving, and keep it actually functioning. So you're like, oh, I'm paying attention, but I'm really not paying attention.
No, I mean, as a baby, I would never sit in my high chair. At church, I would get like my hand smashed down or like hand on my knee because I couldn't sit still.
The
and like
knee bounce.
Or just moving around, and also just like I'm listening to adult sermon for a kid. Like I'm not gonna listen in the first place.
I mean, like no one's gonna sit there forever.
No, getting my chores done was like pulling my hair out, even though I could do it in 5 minutes. It would take me all fucking day to get there.
Yes.
And now it's like, it's just, you know, I always tell, like, people always like, I feel like you thrive in chaos, or you always have something going on. You always, like, part of it is my personality. If you know anything about, like, human design, like, I am a manifest generator. So, like, I'm going. You probably are, too. We need to
absolutely
chart, because it's, like, that is a superpower you have, but, like, being in the corporate world, it can be not used as a superpower. We can just, like, sit down and do what I'm told. But you know, it's like I always use this excuse too, because like I'm a graphic designer, I'm an art kid, I'm supposed to be
out and
about and like moving around a little, like on the alternative, I guess I would say. But like certain things I could really focus on. Like I can focus when I'm interested, or once I get past the hard hump, like setting up this stupid software. Like didn't want to do it, but now I'm like, okay, I want to learn all about it, and then
no, I definitely feel that. Like I told you, I was talking to my therapist not that long ago, and she was like, so what's new? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, well, so I started a podcast with my friend, and then I'm doing this. social media content creator, and then I bought a minivan, and then I got like, I was just like, it's just like, it's
And
just,
you have 2 children.
and I have 2 children, and I'm trying to work out and lose weight, and I'm on a tripartite journey, and she's like, okay, that's a lot. So what are you doing for your grief?
Avoiding it.
Nothing at this point.
It's not on my radar because I have so many other things to go
I have a
on.
lot of things going on, and everything is on the up right now. So I'm hyper manic right now, where it's like, I'm up. Everything's fine. I feel great.
Yeah, because that's the thing too, when people are like, you have so much going on, you need to like take something off your plate. But then it's like you almost get paralyzed by taking that thing off your plate because it's like, well, it's a box that needs to be filled with something.
Well, it's sitting in the back and it's like talking to you. You're like, you can't just leave me alone. Like I'm back here. Like, I can just drop it.
I know. I have so many things like write it down on a list, just get it done. And I'm like, okay, well, I just don't function like that.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm learning, especially like having kids and like they're growing up, and like, you know, one's 2, one's 4. So it's like doctor's appointments, after school closings for all the goddamn reasons, and like all this other sort of stuff. It's like even appointments for my self-care stuff. It's like if I don't write it down the second they're talking to me in my phone with a reminder, it's gone. Or I will think about it nonstop, like calling a doctor back. I will think about it every time I look at my phone. Do I pick up the phone? No. I'll do that later.
Oh, that's why I was saying that video the other day, because it was like Leos, when they're like, when you get a chance, it doesn't mean like later. It means like right this second. It doesn't, and I don't mean it on purpose. It's just, that's how I function. So it's like, I'm trying to be nice about it, but then my anxiety is like, can you do it right this freaking second? Before I like lose my mind and I think about it all day long until it's done. And again, it's not anything towards anybody. It's just, this is how my brain functions. This is how it works.
No, I will go into, I can plan a whole party and do everything in like an hour. And I'm that annoying person, like, I need the details, I need this, can you do this? And this? And next time someone's like, can I do this for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. Then 5 days later, like, do you have that? I'm like, oh shit, no. You know, and then you just feel like a hypocrite because you're like, well, I was the bossy one telling everybody what to do because I was in the zone. Yeah. I wanted all the answers so my brain can go. It's like me with cleaning. I'm like, this house, I have to burn everything or get rid of everything because there's so much stuff around. And then after I'm done cleaning, I'm like, well, that was a little dramatic, but it worked.
It worked. I mean, I did the same thing. I try not to. The problem is I try not to clean until I have to, because so my husband's very good about like cleaning up around the house. Like he's OCD a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, a little bit, or
your house is so nice when you walk in.
Like, I know. But he man cleans.
Yeah.
So that drives me absolutely insane and just makes my skin crawl. Like he goes like wipe instead of like move the object out of the way, wipe the entire counter. So then I end up doing the manic 8-hour house clean, where it's the deep clean of like, I've cleaned the baseboards, I've cleaned the floor, I've cleaned the walls, I've cleaned the showers, I've cleaned everything. And so that's why I try not to, because once I get started, I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
Like my husband will be like, take a break. And I'm like, I can't take a break. Get out of my way. Everybody my way. This whole place is going up in fumes with Fabuloso and whatever.
Walking around. Eyes are burning. Like, clean.
But damn it, it was clean. And you could eat off that damn floor.
I mopped the floors last night because I finally got my Swiffer pads and they suck because of the Amazon knockoff ones. So I'm like bending over, about to pass out anyways because I'm exhausted. But I'm like, I see every paw print. I see everything. You know, it doesn't help that we have kids and have a puppy and dogs and humans. So yeah, let's talk about how we met.
Okay.
So they give a basis of how we met.
So we met through a mutual friend.
But we also we're on an app called Peanut, which is like a mommy dating app essentially.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I feel like we had a little bit of conversation, but like we never followed through.
We did. I think I could probably still bring it up. It's like it was us just like it was literally just like us having a conversation, and then
you were talking about like you're good at cooking, and I was like, oh cool, like, that sounds yummy.
And then I think it was like close to the holidays. That's probably why.
Yeah, it was somebody's birthday.
Yeah,
because we eventually met through a mutual friend who we also met on the app too, through like kids' birthday parties and stuff like that. And it was kind of like a slow roll because it was like we would all kind of hang out in the same group, mainly like doing kid mom stuff where
Yeah.
it was like birthday parties and like everybody I feel like had a summer birthday between us. So it was like kind of birthday from like April on. It was like birthdays. So we saw each other quite frequently. And I was like thinking about that. I was like, I don't know when we started like maybe you remember like branching off on our own. I feel like it started with like you doing my hair. Like spending most time individually.
I think so. I was like highlighting your hair, and it was like the one day we spent like 6 or some hours together.
Yeah, and we still didn't get done. I had to like. Then I ran into my hairdresser afterwards, and I was like,
okay. And then in future reference of this, it didn't. The only reason it takes so long is because Devin's hair doesn't lift very fast.
A lot of hair. Forever. And we were trying to do this while I was working,
and had Rhea at the time too.
Yeah.
While we were doing this,
and between working and. We ran out of time because we had to pick up our kids.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
And we also ran out of product. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go back to the store. We don't have enough time. always the case. So I think I feel like it was like a year later where we started hanging out more one-on-one and like a lot of same interests. Like, we like doing hair. We change it all the time, clearly. But like we also have similar lifestyles. We also like being outside, but we also can go shopping. We can also, do that sort of stuff. So it just kind of, I feel like fell more naturally.
Yeah.
And then especially when you had Rami, like, I feel like that was kind of like when.
Yeah. I think we had a bigger bonding moment at that time. Because again, remember the boys went on a camping trip and you were coming over with the kids, and I literally found out I was pregnant like right before she came over.
I forgot about that. Okay.
It was literally because like they went on a camping trip and I was like, I'm like a week and a half late. But again,
you had been trying a little bit.
Not really. I got off birth control because I was like, I don't want to be on hormones anymore. Yeah. I want to just like cure my PCOS. I'm trying to like lose weight, get into it. So I was just like getting into my groove. My son was like 2. So I'm like, when you're starting to feel like yourself. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then I stopped my birth control, of course. The month before I was late and I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Yeah. Now I'm pregnant. So I was like, oh, whew, cool. And then the following month I was late again. And I'm like, oh my God, it's probably just late again. And it was like 10 days. And I was like, I should probably take a test. And then I took it. It immediately lit up. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And I remember now because I had both the kids. I'd taken them to my son's school function. I forgot they went on that camping trip.
Yeah.
And you called me in the car, and I was like, okay.
I was like, you're coming over. I was like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was the same time when you're like, you did my hair. The boys went on the camping trip because I was picking up pizza, and that's when I ran into my hairdresser. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's judging me. Don't look, I haven't seen you because it's expensive. So, yeah. And then we spent, the boys get along like they're a year apart.
Yeah.
Like get along really well. And then Rhea just hangs out with everybody.
Yeah.
We were over at your house, and it was just kind of like, I feel like not like an epiphany, but like, hey, we could sit on the couch and just
chill,
be fine.
Yeah. And so I was like, we don't have to get dressed, and we can just chill, like in our sweatpants, looking like a hot mess, eating pizza, and the kids complain. I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit if our houses are a mess.
Well, it's also like, when you have friends where it's like you feel like you have to put on a show, or it's like, especially the thing with like ADHD when you have to like mask yourself, or like unmasking. If you guys don't know what that means, it's basically like you put on this performance to hide all of the quote unquote bad things or insecure things or whatever that makes you different from your surrounding people and like trying to fit in. So you put in your mask at work, and some of it's everybody does it, it's part of society, but like you don't realize it until, because most of us have been doing it our entire life.
Oh yeah, like customer service voice.
Yeah, or just being a good girl.
That's great.
Yeah, there was just like a natural calmness, a natural gravitation towards each other. I feel like where we didn't, feel insecure around each other.
We didn't feel like we had to like put on a show. Because even I would like text you like, I'm not getting dressed. Like I'm wearing sweatpants, and like if you're cool, I'm cool. Like
I mean, there's times too that we'll get into later throughout the episodes where pick up the phone and call each other, and we're in tears. You're really good at like putting a positive spin on things for me, because like you're very much more like, we got this, where life is good, positivity. I'm like Scorpio over here. I'm like, no, it's all it sucks.
It's like Leo. It's the Leo.
I know,
honestly,
but it works well. And like I try not to beat myself up and be like, I need to be more positive, which like sometimes I do, but
yeah,
like, I'm also like, let's get deep and dark and tell me all the stuff.
But it's like,
But
not every day is always going to be positive. You know what I mean? Like, you saw me the other day, or just like having a day where you're just like, hormones are raging, and I was like, oh, thinking about stuff in the past, and it was just, it gets you, but like, I know it's going to get better, because like, I've gone through a lot of stuff in my past, and it comes up, it creeps up every now and then. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, rude. Didn't ask you to come back. That's rude. But like it's always been that way. Like even when me and my husband met, like he had said the same thing that you said, that like I am a really positive person. I put a lot of positive spins on things, and it just, because that's kind of just how I've always been. I've just kind of been this like kind of person. But I mean, I do go through things. I go through dark things, and that's why I'm able to like sit there and talk with you about it, which is like, it's great, because
no, I wasn't discrediting that. I think it's like a superpower, and like I love that about you, because like it brings me up into positivity too, because there's been times where like a lot of my past friendships have been like either all about them, or like not asking or genuinely caring, or it's like everything bad is always happening, and it's like, okay, well, I feel for you, but like I don't want to be around that energy constantly. And now like the situation in my life in the moment, the last couple of years, it's just like, okay, I don't want to be that friend either. So it's nice to have someone that can be like, you know what, you'll go through it, and you've been through stuff that like I'm going through now. So it's nice to have it be like, okay, you will get on the other side of these things. Like I understand where you're coming from, and vice versa a little bit.
And I will say, like, with that, it has gotten me in trouble a few times with like friendships, because like same thing, I've like attracted like really bad people as like friends, and like they were very like, it's all about me, and like take care of me, and then of course me being my positive self, I'm like, oh, I'm here to help you, and then I'm just like, this is not going anywhere.
Mine was more of my people pleasing and like deflecting away from me, because it's like, oh, I don't want this attention, what I tell myself, but my inner child is like, yo, I want to be seen and heard, but like let's focus on somebody else so they don't see you. So it's like, of course I was listening to like Mel Robbins the other day. She was talking to someone of like, you want to be seen, but like on your own terms type thing of like, you want the spotlight, but you want to create it for yourself. But when someone else puts it on you, you're like, no, I feel really uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh, I totally resonate with that, because it's like, oh, when someone points out something good or something like that, it's always like a justification of why I got there versus like, oh, thanks. Like, yeah, I agree. So it's, that's, and here we are starting a podcast.
I'm super stoked, honestly. Like, I've been so excited to get this thing started and ready to go. I've been pushing Devin along. Come on, let's get this going. Go, go, go.
I know. It is funny though, too, because like when you're on, I'm off. And when you're off, I'm on. Like last night, I was like, let's go. I had the outline, which I never fucking do outlines, because I hate like coming from corporate world. I'm like, ew. Ew. I don't even know. I mean, it's not even that great of an outline, but I'm like, oh, I feel accomplished. I'm like getting all of like the graphics and that sort of stuff done. And like, I think that works though, because if we were both on at the same time, it'd probably be fucking madness.
Then we would crash and burn at the same time too. And then it would nothing would get done. So we'd just be like, we're having these little lulls. Like just nothing gets done.
I need to accept it, because then I always feel bad. I'm like, I'm letting you down. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
That's why, like I said, I'm here to poke you. You're here to poke me. This is what it works. You're like, come on, let's get this done. This is how it works. No, and look at us. It's a good
dynamic. So it's recording. Okay, well, let's, now that we're so far into it, let's introduce ourselves a little bit of like, I feel like this is such a corporate thing. Like, I feel like I've started so many jobs. So like, please tell us some fun facts about yourself and hobbies.
Can you send us an email with a screenshot of you so we could send it to everybody?
Yeah, so people who don't know us can kind of understand who we are, and people who do know us, maybe they have an idea of who we are, which is totally fine. Everybody has their own version of each other, but coming from us, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm Devin. I don't even think we introduced ourselves with our names. It's It's on the cover.
It's on the cover, and I think our intro will probably have it. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll work it out there somewhere. Yeah, I'm 34, which is weird. Because I feel like I'm just forever 30 or 31. I am a mom of 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old daughter, Rhea, and a son named Campbell. He's 4.5. I'm originally from Georgia, so I moved to Colorado in 2021. So I haven't been here that long. But I remember as a kid just pointing to a map and being like, that's the state I want to be in, and I'm going to have a lot of dogs in a yard. So I'm halfway there. Halfway there. Yeah, I grew up a student athlete. I was a swimmer for 18 years. That was kind of my identity all through college until I quit. So I was like, this. I'm tired of waking up at 5 a.m. I'm not getting any better. And then I became an art kid. I'm a graphic designer. I've been doing that for 12 years. So that's kind of the only industry that I'm in. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of transitioning out of more corporate into more running my own business freelance, a little bit of corporate work too. So that's been fun and stressful at the same time, but it's kind of like a baby step to where I want to be, which I don't know what that is yet. Like I said, I'm a manifest generator, if anybody does human design. So got a lot of different things going on, try a lot of different things. I am always starting something different. I'm a huge animal lover. Like I said, I have a puppy, dog, recently lost a dog, I have a cat. What else? Yeah, I think I have a lot of different interests. Like, like we said, we do a lot of girly things, which is like hair and getting dressed up and that sort of stuff. But like, I also really like the outdoors. I got really into gardening last year. Really proud of that. My tomato plant popped off. So, totally other life before kids and around COVID. But I was into plants before COVID because I don't want to be like that, like COVID plant person that everybody became.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have like over 100 plants in my house. That was my identity for a while. I put on different identities quite often. It was the dog girl, and now it was the plants, and now I don't know what it is yet. But yeah, I had a YouTube channel for a little bit until I moved out here, and it was just too much to do because I had moving and kids, new job, and then I got pregnant. But I still have all the plants. They're thriving in this Colorado sun. So that was kind of like another big thing too of, I don't know, I guess I'm a nurturer by nature, which I fight against a lot. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to take care of people. And then I'm like, take care of everybody.
But you do.
Like I have all these things surrounding me that depend on me for life support. So explain that one.
Anyway, doing this to yourself.
I know. I thought this something the other day. I was working out with her, and I was like, I think I overcommitted myself. She started dying laughing. She's like, "You think?" I was like, "It doesn't sound like me at all." So, yeah, that's mean and a part. I guess I'm gonna say part.
Yeah,
part of me. Yeah. When someone asks, like, "What do you do for fun?" That's a good question. Whatever I feel like in the moment, I guess.
Get tattoos.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of tattoos last year. Yeah. So, I think that's me for right now.
Cool. Well, I'm Kadie. Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Kadie, spell your name.
Oh, God. It's with a D, not a T. And it's not catty like Mean Girls.
My sister said that. I was like, kind of, but it's not. It's
kind of, but it's not. And it's not short for anything. It doesn't mean catty like Cadillac. Just Kadie with a D because my parents had a sense of humor and thought it was
mine's Devin with an I, which seems logical, but people, photographers, everybody does. It's fine.
Well, me and my husband moved here to Colorado back in 2018. I actually lived in Colorado half of my childhood in like Greenwood Village, Cherry Creek area, and then moved during the 2008 crash back to Texas, which not my favorite state. It's very hot, it's very humid, and it's very about materialistic stuff. So me and my husband both were not like wanting to stay in Texas. We're like, we want to go somewhere else and venture out. He started applying for jobs all over the place, like California, Florida, Colorado, the whole bay. Like,
I love how people always want to go to Florida. And I'm just
we
like,
were just applying
why?
for anywhere. You know, it was just
Yeah,
like,
I
just
know.
to get at. It was like, whatever.
But it's like people who didn't grow up next to Florida. It's like, I want to move to Florida. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's hot. It's humid, blizzards.
Old people.
Yeah. It's just, it's not fun. I've been there to visit, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's great to visit, not to stay.
Not to live.
But ended up, my husband got a job in Loveland, Colorado, for UC Health with the trauma department. And we were like, I was like, heck yeah, we are gone immediately. We both snowboard, love hiking, all of the outdoorsy kind of things. And then we currently moved to Fort Collins, I think about 2 years ago now. We were living in Berthoud before, and it was a cute little town, but there's nothing out there. So it was either, and we're foodies, so we would like go to Longmont or Fort Collins to try food all the time. And it's like, this is just not our vibe. Like, we need.
It has a great view though.
It does have a great. We had a beautiful view.
Yeah.
We were next to that, that millionaire neighborhood next to the PGA golf course out there. So it was just like, it's you could see the Twin Peaks and the whole thing. It was just like my drive home every day was literally the Twin Peaks, like just beautiful. And so beautiful view, just not our vibe and where we wanted to be. So ended up moving to Fort Collins a couple years ago. I have 2 boys. Cairo is going to be 4 in April, and then I have Rami, and he is just currently turned 8 months old. Cutie patootie, little chunky monk. Here's my husband the other day, just off thought. He was like, why don't you name your company like Chunky Baby Works and put Rami as your face on it? I was like, okay, moving on.
Maybe idea 2.0. We'll see how this one turns out.
So if anybody wants to use Chunky Baby Works as that company name, that's all I do. I played sports most of my life. I played soccer. Was really, really good at it. Was getting looked at by college scouts and stuff like that, and unfortunately ended up with having like cystic ovaries and PCOS and stuff like that. Didn't know that at that young until I got a little bit older. So I actually had to stop playing sports at a young age, which was probably not a good idea to get me in trouble in high school. A lot of bad things. Stay in school, kids, and do sports. Keeps you out of trouble.
Worked for me.
Yeah, I did a lot of bad things.
That's a lot more than that.
Yeah,
just doing sports.
So stay in your extracurricular activities. I do recommend it. So yeah, and like right now, currently doing this podcast with Devin, working on content creation and social media specialist. I just finished my marketing degree in 2023. And right when I found out I was pregnant with Robbie and I only had like a month left of school, and I was freaking out because I can't remember anything when I'm pregnant. It was really bad. It's rough. I was reading pages like 6 times. I'm like, I don't know what
someone could read this to me like a bedtime story, please.
Someone help me. So thank God I barely passed my last classes.
I did that with Campbell. I was going through a design boot camp at Georgia Tech, and I had found out I was pregnant. I'm like standing up, giving an oral presentation. My brain just goes,
yeah.
And I was like, sorry, a pregnancy brain. They're like, I was like, you're pregnant. I was like, yeah, I forgot to mention that one.
That's me.
It's rough.
And so just working on a lot of stuff right now. Working.
Did you tell me you came from a medical background?
Yeah, sorry. So I actually have been in the medical field for 13, 14 years now. I graduated when I was a lot younger as a medical assistant, and that was supposed to be a stepping stone career. You know, it was supposed to be like, this will be so I can get out of retail and then go to nursing school, and that didn't work out.
Works.
And the reason being is because, like, I mean, okay, guys, nursing school is like a full-time gig, and you have to be there literally from 8 to 5. And it's like, okay, well, who's going to pay my bills to go to nursing school?
Yeah.
Because at that time, I didn't have any like financial means to like do that, or have someone to, unfortunately, have like my parents couldn't like pay for my means in order for that to work. So changed my major like 4 times, and ended up getting a marketing degree because, just I like the vibe, and I like doing different things. And I feel like that was more of my area to go into, especially with my ADD brain. I'm like, look, shiny thing. I can, I like this idea.
Creative and persuasive. So it seems fitting.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to try something new and something different. I went down the medical path because, again, listening to your parents, I wanted to be a hairstylist right after school. As you see, we do all these crazy hair videos. And my dad was always like, I'm not going to pay for that. That's not a career path.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, figure something else out. Medical was always the state back then before COVID happened was the stable career path.
Right.
You know, and so I went into it just thinking, and also like trying to like get health benefits and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? I like taking care of people, but it definitely does take it out of you, especially being an empath.
Yeah.
Because like I am a very big empath, and a lot of people who are in medical field are empaths, and that's why, because we nurture in nature, like that's we want to take care of people, and then we get burnt out because we give everything we've got to take care of people.
Deal with people on like their worst case scenarios a lot of times.
Yeah, like my last job, I was working in oncology, and like most days I loved it. I loved being that person for them to like gravitate to, and like I'm there to help you, like that's what I'm here for, and they're so grateful. And then you have the other days where it's like it's so sad because like the patient you love so much passed away, and it's like, oh my god,
I couldn't imagine.
Well, today sucks. Now I need chocolate and I need coffee and something. I need an emotional support drink right now, and so now this is kind of like a new adventure, and I'm super stoked to just try something new and just kind of figure. I'm kind of learning and figuring out myself after having 2 kids, because you know, with the mom, what do you call it, identity, like. You're just like, that can't be your only identity, you know? And it's like, I want to figure my loves, my interests again. And I'm super stoked to like try something new and just do this.
No, you're, like I said, you're good at it. You have a knack for making people believe in what you're selling.
Yeah. A really good salesperson. Guys.
You are. I'm over here like, I do design. You should probably hire me, but I have nothing to prove for it. And I'm not good about talking about
whatever.
myself.
As I'm like, this is amazing. This is fire. When she like does our what do you call it? Our logo, and like
I'm over there like, it could be better.
Even my husband was like looking at, okay, so Devin of course like looked over my portfolio, helping me out. Wink, wink. Because I'm like, I need help. I'm looking at this 400 billion times, and my brain is fried. And I'm like, please look at this.
I'm happy to help too. It's like, you sent it over to me first, and I'm like, hey Devin, let her do her creative thing. I'm over here, I'm like, this needs to be changed. This needs to be done.
And I knew,
like, don't overstep it.
Exactly. And I knew it needed to be changed. Like my brain just like couldn't figure it out at the point. Because you know, when you stare at something for so long, you're like, I have to walk away from this, or I can't fix it. I'm just losing it. And I was like, okay, Devin, help me. And I'm like, this is fire. And she's like, well, thanks. Yeah. I'm like, stop being modest. Stop being modest.
I know. It's kind of like a double-edged sword when you're like, grow up to be a perfectionist. True. And like that is sort of like, I think a lot of us struggle with perfectionists, but like when you literally have to go down to like the pixel sometimes. And I had like a toxic work environment where this lady was literally bullying me, where she would like nail me for like not being pixel perfect and like trying to read her mind and that sort of stuff. So like getting over that a little bit too, but it's also like a big vulnerability, because it's like, I'm not just doing research and then presenting it to someone. It's like these thoughts in my mind is what I perceive it to be, and then I have to present it to you, and you may or may not like it. Yeah. And a lot of times, like I think my intuitive ability and sense helps me a lot with that, but not if I can't connect with the person. Like if someone, I hate the people, and I think a lot of designers will say this too, like someone comes to you and they're like, I want exactly this, and this. And I'm like, I don't want to work for you, because that's, you're not allowing me to do my job.
Exactly. Well, you're not allowing me to be creative, and that's what you do.
I was got my eyelashes done yesterday or the day before. And, you know, of course she's, you know, met her for the first time asking me what I do. And she's like, I'm like, oh, I'm a graphic designer. She's like, oh, you make things cute. I'm going to stab you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You make things pretty.
Bro.
I hate that. I get where they're coming from, because it's like, yes, I do make things look good. There's way more that goes into that.
You say she was doing your eyelashes?
Yeah.
I'd have been like, bitch, if you weren't so close to my fucking eyeball.
Oh, I can't see anything because my eyes are glued shut. So I was just like, yeah, like you just accept it, because it's like, so many people are like, what is graphic design? And it's like, oh, it's so many things.
It's so much.
Literally everything that you see is done by a designer in some sort of sense, whether it's good or bad. And a lot of people, like, we always learn that like good design will not be praised because it's doing its job. Yeah. You know, you're not like, oh, I don't like this design. It just makes you feel a certain way. Yeah. And it's like, hey, people will recognize bad design, which is annoying sometimes in our industry, because like these people will sell stuff for really cheap, and you're like, oh my God, I got this logo done for like $25. And you're like,
But it looks like crap.
Yeah, it's like, that's why it's $25. It's the same thing. Like, if any other industry was like, what if a lawyer was like, oh, I'm $25 an hour? You're like, where did you come from? The streets? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
I absolutely feel that, though, like, because I ran an event planning business back right before COVID hit, and it was literally at the end of, like, 2018. I did a wedding coordinating business, and I made my own website and my own logo and blah, 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 blah. Because, of course, I didn't have the funds to, like, hire somebody to do it. And now looking back at it, I'm like, oh, I did not like that logo. It was so bad. It was so bad. I landed clients, but I was just like, I wish I had had the money to, like, invest, and it would have been better.
Yeah. No, I mean, some people definitely are more creative than others. Like, I don't want to shoot people down and say only a designer can do it, because that's not the case. Because I can do other things besides design, but, like, you are trained, and some people have the natural ability. Like, you're a natural salesperson. Like, I suck at sales because I'm like, the fear of rejection is going to be like, well, I'm just not good enough for whatever I'm selling. And then I don't think I have the confidence to be like, you buy this and do this. And and people will be like, she's unsure of it.
Well, and the worst part is, like, again, like, I don't want to be like this, but, like, again, I grew up with 2 salespeople, like, parents, and, like, you grow up around that. So, like, you see that. My dad was a CEO for CB Richard Ellis Construction for a long time. And then my mom did interior design and, like, investment sales, like, stuff like that. So my parents would literally in Greenwood Village host these, like, big soiree parties, like, at our house. And, like, I'm talking, like, super fancy, lots of wine, scallops with bacon wrapped, like, just the whole, like, fancy schmancy, like, everything you could possibly add into the whole bang to get the client was, like, in there. So, like, my mom could throw a party. My dad and them, both of them, could schmooze and booze like the rest of them. So, and I'm sitting there with them because I'm like, there's 3 of us, and we're always there for these parties and these dinners and stuff like that. Because, again, who's gonna watch your kids when you got stuff to do? And, like, so watching them, like, become people persons and, like, how they can, like, attract people to, like, get things done was kind of, like, awe and amazing at some points. Like, my dad was always that guy too, who was like, would literally introduce himself to every neighbor and, like, knows everybody in the neighborhood.
My dad's like that too. Yeah, he just talks to random people, which, I mean, that's how you, like, I can talk to, like, random people, I feel like.
Yeah.
But then when people start asking me questions about myself or what I do, it's like claiming up. But like, I feel like sales personality gets, like, a bad trait because people are like, absolutely, oh, you're trying to smooge me, you're not trustworthy. And it's like, no, I feel like it's kind of the opposite. Like, a salesperson has to be trustworthy in most cases.
In most cases, yeah.
Like, if you don't realize you're being sold something, I feel like that's what it is. That's what, like, you come across as that. You're not, like, pushy, like, I need to make this commission and you're going to do what I need to do.
Yeah. Well, because I'm like, if you're going to believe in the product or you don't, like, even in general, just like, it's like, if you don't believe in yourself, then, if you do, great, let's do it. Like, we can do this.
No, I think when I moved here, like, leaving, like, all friends behind, like, I had, like, a wide group of friends. I didn't have, like, super, super close friends back home. Like, I was just dabble in, like, different friend groups, it's kind of like to keep myself on the outside of things.
Yeah.
But, like, when I moved here, it was like, okay, I don't have a problem talking to people. Like, obviously went on the app and that sort of stuff. But, like, it's interesting, the friends that I've connected with and stayed friends with most closely are, like, very positive people, like, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of, like, have a lot of confidence, which is great because, like, you are the people that you surround yourself with.
Exactly.
So it was like, I always kind of struggled with making female friendships because I just couldn't. I would find one for a little bit, but then, if we got too close or, I didn't know how to work that dynamic because, like, growing up, I'd always get burned in the past or something like that. Yeah. So it's interesting. Especially being a mom too.
A lot of women are not, like, girls either. Yeah. They're, like, feel like everything is in competition with each other. And it's like, as you get older, you realize that's not the case, and you're not competing with other females for certain men, and you're not competing, like, in this industry, like, you really, like, honestly feel like figure that out. And you're like, okay, so you're not a girl's girl. You don't want to, like, support me and be my friend. You're actually constantly just trying to be in competition in that. And I totally get that because I don't have a lot of girlfriends either for that reason. Because it's like, me and my sister are the same way. We're very like non-competitive with each other for this purpose, because we're just like, go pop off, sister. Like, I want you to like have fun and like do your thing. And unfortunately, my mom's like, don't tell your sister how much you make, or don't tell. And it's like, but we don't care.
Right.
Like, I want you to succeed. I want you to be good, and I want things to go well for you.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole different era of like making friendships like that, because it's like, this is the people you want around you like that.
Yeah. No, I'm the youngest of 4, so I have an older brother and my 2 sisters, and the sisters were all within 2 years apart from each other. And like people would always be like, "Oh my god, I bet you guys fought so much as kids." And it's like, no, not really. Like, we had certain times where we would bitch at each other, but like it wasn't like sisters that we knew that would like beat the shit out of each other and like scratch each other and like stab them in the back. It's like we talk to each other on a daily basis and celebrating the wins and like understanding that we're all 3 different people. So it's like we're not. I mean, I think they're on some sort of level. Siblings there always be that sort of competition in a different matter, I guess, but not like, oh, you did really good in business, now I need to one up you. It's like, shit, how did you do that? Actually,
exactly. It's like, I'm proud of you. What did you do? What's your process?
Because that's what I'm like now too. Because then it's just like surrounded by a lot of these good women of like doing their own thing, and like I'm more interested in like how you got there and like how can I mimic that in certain things, or like more of an inspiration type thing. And I think that changes a lot too when as you get older, and especially being a mom too, because when I left Georgia, I was really the only mom of my friends. I was kind of one of the first to
girls
get married, to have a baby. I did it at the same time. So it was like, well, I have a child at home. Like they weren't like ostracizing me for that fact, but like I'm not going out to the bars anymore.
Right.
You know? So it's like, it's just, I was 29 at the time. So it's like, that's still the culture and the scene. It's just not my life anymore. And I think it's okay to outgrow those things. And just like especially moving to a place, like we both come from the South, at different types of South, but like I, born and raised in the South, but I don't feel like a Southern woman. Like, we don't talk like Southern women at all. So
I don't
it's like
I'm from Odessa or anything. So
I have a hard time saying y'all. Like they don't mind just coming more northeastern. Like you guys. So it's like coming out to Colorado and finding. I always laughed. I'm like finding brunettes. Because back home it was seafood blondes. Like I tried to make myself blonde.
Texas is like the same thing. Everybody bleach blonde.
Yeah. And so like even coming out here, it's like, oh, you can wear jeans and sweatpants, and everybody's active and super nice. And I mean, Fort Collins is a small town, I would say, coming from both of where we lived.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Dallas was definitely like a metroplex. It's they had a sea of everything. So.
Yeah, coming from Atlanta and the suburbs around it, I mean, we have like 6 million people there.
Yeah.
And so you eventually, especially knowing the people that we know, it's like you eventually start to know everybody, and it gets smaller and smaller. But yeah, I feel like a lot of women here, came here to raise their families.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs, which is good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was a breath of fresh air of like knowing that I could have female friendships and like understanding like there's not something wrong with you.
Yes,
like,
no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's that sort of thing. What I tell my sister, because like my sister was definitely like the hippie dippy kid, like growing up, and like emo and like alternative. But like as she got older, like kind of finding her groove, and she's the same way. Like Texas was just not her vibe, and neither was mine. And when she moved to Oregon, like off the West Coast, you get a mixture of like lumberjacks and hippies. Yeah. And she was like, I found my people. I found my people. Like, this is where she belongs. Like, she belongs on the West Coast. Like, this is how she's like made friends. She's met someone. Like, same thing with me. Like, me and Omar, even though we met in Texas, we're just not Texas people.
Right.
Like, I'm saying, like, and then same thing when you come here, it's like, I have people that actually like want to go do things with me that are just shopping and spending money and talking shit about other people. Like, is this real? Like, it's amazing.
No, and it's like, depending on how old you are, like listening to this podcast, I'm assuming probably around our age, if you're younger too, like the amount of people shouldn't matter as much as like the quality of people.
Yeah.
And I'm much better, like, I end up knowing a lot of people, but I'm close to a few people.
Yeah, same.
Like,
Same.
I'm good at, like, oh, I recognize you, you know, like that sort of stuff. But I'm also trying to get better at, like, reaching out, like, past that, like, initial acquaintance. Like, hey, I see you all the time. Like, we should hang out. Like, that still gives me anxiety. Like, you're someone that, like, will push me to be like, let's hang out. Let's, you know, that sort of stuff. I'm like, I'll just hibernate my hole for a little bit. I'm okay with that, but you can still talk to me.
But, like, I totally get that because I have days like that for sure, where it's like, I need to be by myself. I need to be alone.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say you're definitely more extroverted. I'm definitely more introverted.
Yeah, I've definitely been an extrovert my whole life. Yeah. So
I can, like, I feel like I'm an ambivert or whatever it's called, like when you're kind of both, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
And of course, Instagram gives me all of my mental health needs. Not needs, information, whether it's true or not.
All of our medical information comes from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
And actual medical doctors that we've seen for things, and functional doctors. But yeah, it was saying of, like, this therapist was like, oh, like, are you an introvert or extrovert? Or, like, do you like taking leadership, or are you, it's a leadership or follower? And she's like, it depends on who I'm around. I was like, oh, I resonate with that a lot. Like, if there's not a leader already in the room, like, I'll step up.
Then step in. Yeah.
But if I see somebody else is, like, got their stuff going on, I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and be quiet. I'm not always fighting.
Right, exactly.
Patriarchy type thing of, like, oh, I need to be heard and be the leader.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I feel like too, that's like within comfort level too. Because like, if you know on a subject and you're like, I know everything about this subject and there's no one stepping up to the plate, and I'm like, I got this. Yeah. I can run the team. But then if there's something like I completely know nothing about, I'm like, I'll be more than happy to sit down.
Oh, absolutely.
And figure out what the game plan is.
I know. Well, me, I'm like, I would be a great emergency contact for anybody, because it puts my fight or flight into use. To be honest, like, my anxiety is already ready to go. So, like, need an emergency, need something to happen fast, and have someone calm and cool, and boom. I probably should have been in the medical field, but that just seems like my body would have been like, we're done. We've used up all of our juices. Yeah. But no,
It's funny you say that.
That's my emergency contact.
You should. I mean,
so that I don't know how to say your last name.
Again. Alna Shakati. Say it like Italian. It'll be really easy.
I always get the last part Shakati. I was like, I got it. I was like,
One, it's funny you say that, because like my sister actually did the same thing. She put me as her emergency contact because, one, I'm the closest, but two, she's like, I feel like you're really good in this situation. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm his medical for the last 14 years. So of course I'm going to be like, yeah, let's go. Like, I got this. I can make your medical decisions. We've got this. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure we do everything we can to save your life. It's fine.
Yeah. No. How are you her emergency contact when your state's away?
So like, okay, again, if probably Mike at this point would be like her emergency contact, just because he's in the state. Yeah. But like, you know, as your secondary or anything like that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's me.
Well, especially not having, we both don't have extended family out here. We, you know, we moved away from all of that support essentially. So like, using your friends as emergency contacts is like, need to find one. Yeah.
Well, and it's like too, like I have you as like to pick up Cairo like from school, because God forbid, like me, Omar, in a car crash. Yeah. What do we do? Like, who picks up my kid from school? Is he just going to get picked up by CPS until somebody can come get him?
Like, and like he knows me, so like, that's a comfort zone. And having that as,
especially with him being like neurodivergent, and like I can't just have some like random person pick him up, because he'll be like, "Who are you?" Yeah. Not going with you. Yeah.
Well, good stranger danger on that part.
Yeah, good stranger danger. Yeah. For sure. But then too, there are times where he's like completely just talks to random people. And I'm like, don't. No, not there. Don't talk to them.
So I'm on the other hand, like, you should go make friends, but like, do I have to talk to their parents?
Do I have to be friends with them? That's the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've talked quite a bit, so let's set ourselves up for success on what people can expect from this podcast.
Absolutely.
Moving forward. I mean, it's more of a space where we can just sit down, and hopefully you've listened this far of just us talking about stuff. As this is like our introduction podcast, it's kind of more of like all over the place, but we do have stuff for certain topics that we want to talk about, especially a lot of womanhood health journey stuff.
Absolutely.
Grief, we'll talk about we'll talk about motherhood. There's a whole, subsection on that. friendships and a lot of like advice we would have given ourselves as younger people or now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have a whole list of topics, so it's gonna be pretty free flowing conversation, but like more directly related to certain topics. Yeah, and if you have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, I mean, I think the big part of this too is like, I feel like everything on the internet is some sort of expertise on something.
Yeah.
And which kind of like makes me get overwhelmed sometimes because it's like, okay, well, so many different opinions. And I feel like social media can make you feel isolated, saying I'm the only one going through this.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a big thing too, especially if you have anxiety. Like, I'm the only one that experiences this like throat closing anxiety. It's like, no, like we're here, we're going through the same stuff. Kind of not like normalize it, but like make you feel okay. I think that's the space that we're trying to provide for everybody.
We definitely want this to be like this is your safe space hour. This is where you can listen and feel like you can relate to what we're talking about. We can do the same thing, vice versa. I want to really, you're talking about what I'm talking about. And again, everybody's is expertise when you feel like you're going on the internet. And it's like, sometimes you just want to talk to somebody real and just go through the same shit. Be like, yeah, I'm going through that too.
Yeah.
I want to feel what you're feeling. Yeah. I'm glad that somebody else feels like this. This is great.
Yeah. And, like we said, we don't have our village here, so we've become each other's village. If you don't have one too, like, let us become that for you guys too. And we may cry, which is fine. Telling myself that it's fine.
It's fine to cry. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna cry.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of TMI moments in here too.
Yeah, so. Might be some heavy topics here and there, but that's life, and it helps you. Then it helps us, and we help each other. So that's the best we can do. You can find us on YouTube. Where are we hosting?
We have on Spotify. We're going to be on Spotify.
Okay.
YouTube. We also have a TikTok channel, Instagram. So again, if you guys would please click and subscribe to those buttons, we would really, really appreciate it. And whatever comments, like I said, episodes, anything that you want to post on there, please, we'd be more than happy to read over them and maybe add some topics if you want to hear about anything in particular.
Yeah, and everything's at Not Your Basic Brunettes podcast. All right, see you guys next time.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.